Hi, my name is Tim Hawes. I'm an exercise specialist and NLP Sports Performance Practitioner. I'm currently working for Aston Martin Racing in the World Endurance Championships, and I've been in the fitness industry now for about 18 years. I've always had a love of motorsport and anything with an engine, and I left school and became a motor vehicle mechanic. I then left that after doing all my apprenticeships and went on to do engineering. After about 7 years in engineering, I started looking for new challenges, new ways to push. So started training to join the fire service. So through all that time in the gym training and the practical tests of the fire service, I found a love for exercise. For one reason or another, just the fire service didn't quite work out how I wanted it to. I didn't get chosen. I think I got through to the last 5 out of 6,000 applicants. I didn't quite know what it was they wanted, but whatever it was, I didn't have it. But still, I carried on. And then after that disappointment, I realised that probably being a personal trainer could be a good option. After spending so much time in the gym and training and how good I felt about my own fitness, maybe I could help others achieve their own fitness goals. So I decided to enroll with a company called Premier Global Fitness Training, and that's where my new journey began. I had my ups and downs with the course. It wasn't straightforward as I hoped it would be. I passed all of my practical exams with flying colours, but sadly, theory was always a problem. I could never put what was in my head on a piece of paper, and after getting past all the practical parts, I was then asked to leave the course because I hadn't got the ability to do all the theory. So they asked me to enroll on the next course 6 months later. So 6 months later, I rejoined the course, met a whole new group of people. This time I'd done a lot of work on preparation and trying to really understand how I could get everything from my head onto a piece of paper. Not easy, but I managed it. So I went into the course more determined than ever. And thankfully passed all of the modules, all the exams, and I believe I had 90% plus pass mark in all of the exams. So from there, my training career was launched, up and running. I went straight out to work on my own and built up my client base, and over the years did further education just to keep up with the industry, which was one thing that if I could recommend that you do, it just keeps you current and it's good content to give to your clients as you move forward. 5 years ago, I believe, a friend introduced me to an up-and-coming racing driver who had just signed for Aston Martin. I offered my services and promised this young driver that I would be able to make a difference. 6 years on, and we are still working together and pushing limits. I always thought that to get into the motorsport industry, you had to be either an ex-something, like an ex-serviceman or ex-servicewoman or an ex-Olympic athlete, because that's all I saw. The people that I saw on TV or the people that I read about were ex-somethings. But actually, with determination, some knowledge and contacts, you can make your way. You don't have to be an ex-anything. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. I wouldn't say that there was a typical a day that happens in motorsport. Every day is very different. But what I will take you through is the build-up and a little bit of the race from a 24-hour Le Mans race, which is the biggest, I think it is the biggest motorsporting event in the world. Up to, I think we have about 500,000 spectators when you're allowed. and it is watched all around the world live. So we tend to arrive about 10 days before the race. So we have scrutineering on the first day, which would be the Monday. So all cars going to the centre of Le Mans. It's where all the fans get a little bit up and close with the drivers and they can see all the cars. And then we just start to build up through that week. So I start to take all the drivers out. We go for runs in the morning around the track. I sort all their nutrition out for them. We do massage throughout the day, and just generally getting them prepared for what's ahead of them. With about 2 to 3 days before the race, I start to taper down on all of their exercise, keep up with the massage, and then start with the mental preparation. They start to just have a little bit more rest. The nutrition changes slightly, and we then go into kind of the preparation for race day, which is on the Saturday. Race day is up early for us. We travel into the track, and on the way into the track, it is on your mind that you won't be leaving the track until the following evening. So you know you're in for a long day. We go and check in with all the drivers, any last minute issues, or if we need to do any last minute treatments. And I would say probably this is the calm before the storm. Everybody is kind of a bit crazy at this point. It is quite intense. It's probably one of the most intense races of the season. The race will start at 3 p.m. So the cars are allowed on the track at about 2 p.m. We go onto the grid and just keep an eye on the pit crew. We keep an eye on the drivers, making sure that they're okay. The starting drivers, you will kind of spend more time with, looking after them. And then you'll start to feel the pressure a little bit more. Things start to get a little bit more interesting. Everyone starts to leave the grid. So I'm one of the last to actually leave the grid. They have their formation. They start the formation lap, and at 3 p.m. the race starts. That first hour is probably one of the most tensest hours of your life. After that first hour and a half, everything settles down. Hopefully everybody is through that first hour without any problems. And then you start to settle into a routine. So you're getting each driver ready for their stint. When the car comes in, you are taking one of the drivers away and making sure that the other driver is ready to get in. You're waiting for that driver then to have a bit of a debrief with his engineers, and then you will take that driver away, depending what time of day it is, whether it's morning, evening, midday, whatever the time is. We're looking at feeding them, getting fluids in them, and basically trying to get them to their RVs or wherever they're staying just to have a sleep before their next stint. So they've done that bit, and then they will be in the car then for 2 to 3 hours. So they have 2 to 3 hour stints each, 3 hours being the maximum, but also that depends on the temperature on track. If it's a really hot kind of summer's day, then 2 hours is a maximum. Through the night they can do 3 hours. So that will carry on. That's 24 hours of racing. And over that actual 24-hour race, I think I've worked it out that we are pretty much up for 48 hours, and I will probably have 8 hours sleep in 1 to 2 hour blocks. So it is particularly tough on the role that I play. The drivers understand that, and they always say that they have the easy job because all they've got to do is sit in a car and drive around a track. I think it's a little bit harder than that. So once that's done, race is finished, and then we look to pack up, and then everything moves on to the next race. My most memorable moment would have to be being part of a Le Mans winning team. So in 2020, we won Le Mans. Sadly, it was behind closed doors, so we didn't have any spectators. But knowing that I played a part in that win is extremely important to me. And also the young driver that I actually train, he was awarded the Revelation of the Year in the FIA World Championship. And it's been an amazing journey for both of us. So I'd say those two things are very memorable. And also we won the Constructors World Championships in the World Endurance Championship as well. So 3 things. Key skills and attributes, I think to be able to fit in with a team quickly is essential. To build rapport and have great people skills, that would be essential. With the role that I do, in particular the drivers when they get out of a car, to be able to read their body language is a huge part. They will be wearing a helmet as soon as they get out of the car. So to go up to them if they've had a bad stint or anything like that, you've got to know how to react to them. So being able to read body language would be a great skill to have. There are a lot of personal trainers out there. If it was something that you were interested in or thought about, my advice would be make yourself different. What could you offer that makes you stick out from others? And really look into specialising maybe in something. I've done my specialising, and that's how I got to where I am now. I've studied years and years and years and years of videos looking at pit stops. So another part of what I do is not only look after drivers at the races, but I also look at pit stop analysis. And I have watched video after video after video after video. And that has enabled me now to look at, in the World of Endurance Championships, how I could make their pit stops quicker. So my advice would be is, there's lots of podcasts out there. There are a lot of videos out there. Do your studying on whatever sport you would like to get involved in. And it could be you that makes that difference.